welcome back to the Adult Deck Podcast.
We're your hosts, Ronnie and Peter Scott.
Yes.
Peter and Ronnie Scott, whichever one y'all like first.
Rice and Ronnie, if you're nasty.
Good to have y'all back.
Yes.
We're on, what's this, episode 8?
8?
8, I think it's 8.
I'll let you handle that.
I think it's 8.
You do all the editing and posting.
8 weeks.
2 months.
2 months.
Sheesh.
So how you feel about Scott Enterprises, the Adult Deck, all of this 2 months later?
I am honestly feeling more confident than ever about it.
Okay.
I am excited just because of all of the new things and new ideas that I have swirling around. Me and my sister have been talking about having like a Halloween party for the longest and making it like huge bash.
That'd be fun.
Right?
Now that they got the house to themselves.
Exactly. So I'm thinking about incorporating Scott Enterprises or incorporating parties into Scott Enterprises.
Okay.
Just because like, well, whenever I'm like watching movies and stuff and see people like owning and managing a nightclub, I'm like, oh, that sounds neat. Like,
right.
That seems like something I would be good at. And I'm really good at event planning. So
yeah, you got some work done in there with your KPR.
Right. Shout out to KPR Signature Weddings and Events.
Okay, dope people, look them up. I don't think they're too busy right now.
Not right now.
I don't know when they'll be busy again.
But I mean, even with that, like I said,
My joke just went over her head, y'all. Y'all wouldn't know either, but too busy. No.
Because she had twins.
Yeah. Don't explain the joke. That makes the joke bad. Go ahead.
So yeah. So I'm thinking about incorporating that. I had a new show idea that I'm thinking about doing with my sister. I hope that we can get that up and running. I'm just worried about, like we said last week, we can't take our whole desktop and just pick it up whenever we want to go record something.
But with the quarantine setup the way it is, and me having the higher end laptop from the place,
We can use that.
we can utilize it until they say keep it at the place. Put it back.
The place. Okay.
I mean, if I don't say where, they won't know.
That is very true.
Nobody knows. So.
That is very true. So we might do that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it has everything this has, so.
That is true.
I know we're using it just to record it.
I was about to say it, and then we can save it to our hard drive.
And bring it back over here.
Nice. Look at us brainstorming.
Oh, I mean, I already had that idea. If we couldn't get this, then for the time being, until we saved up enough to get a higher, I was gonna use that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So I'm thinking about that. We're gonna have some people visiting. Not a lot of people, like my sister and my cousin, and then one of our couple friends.
Yeah.
Are going to be visiting a little bit after that. So I'm thinking about doing some bonus episodes with them.
Okay.
Just to like see how they like it, see how it goes. Like my overall vision is I want everybody involved that wants to be involved. I see it as like a big family thing, a big family component. I mean, I'm making the table, so I want everybody to get fed.
Make the meal, let everybody eat.
So I'm excited. I'm feeling a lot more confident now than I did in the beginning.
That's good. And
I think it's because I've just been spending more time in the Word and more time praying and talking to God about it.
Those
and that fear has started
speak to you. I saw how the last one we did, I guess, open your eyes is what we'll say. Just so you realize what you're really doing, any setbacks you had, what your real passion is, all that good stuff. Like that last devotional we did, I saw.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about the last episode. I was like,
no,
that was horrible. I mean, not horrible. It was well needed.
Yeah.
But it was also like not a happy episode. I was like, what?
But I meant the devotional we do.
Oh, yes.
We've done.
We did.
We did.
All of
I
these
don't
work.
English well. But yeah, I saw how it kind of made you realize what I've already seen.
Yeah.
And I feel like for some people, they gotta realize certain things about themselves. Somebody else can't really tell them that. So,
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. And that goes into a lot of different things. It goes into self-esteem and body issues. It goes into
that's messing up my whole podcast.
it goes into self-esteem, your work ethic, how people see you in general.
Right.
It helps when you have somebody that's like obsessing over you and telling you all these great things. Like, you definitely helped me, but I don't think I would be as confident and comfortable in it unless I would have realized it myself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So yeah, where are your roses and thorns for the week? Where these last 7 days have taken you?
My favorite segment, second favorite segment, the roses and thorns. Roses that I still jogging this week.
Oh yeah, keeping that going.
I
haven't given up yet.
I haven't given up yet, but man,
haven't made excuses to stay in bed.
This morning was rough. My thorn, however, is I feel like you have a secret agenda to keep me chunky.
It's not a secret. We've been through this.
You can't keep distracting me with morning sex and then being like, all right, go ahead. I'm like, I can't feel my legs. How am I supposed to run?
That's a you problem.
How is that a me problem?
I needed some butt. That's my cardio in the morning. You have your cardio in the morning. Just because I get mine in don't mean you can't get yours in.
Okay. When I'm on top, that's my cardio. That's work.
Is it though?
Yes. How?
I don't
Sir,
know. I'm just asking.
How are you going to say that it's your cardio when the roles are reversed, but when I'm on top, it's not cardio?
First of all, in the mornings, I'm usually, most of the time, I'm usually initiating it. And second off in the morning, it's more me just pushing your butt over and putting it in the air rather than you being on top. So I'm getting
I think it's 50-50. It's at least 50-50.
You still have sleep. Like, all right, do what you want.
Yes, when I gotta put my butt in the air because you don't warn me.
No, who? What? It's morning sex. Who's like, hey, tomorrow morning at such and such time when we wake up, this is happening.
That's different. That's different than you just roll me over first thing in the morning and start kissing. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get with it, but I wasn't prepared.
Hey, just because I wake up before you isn't my fault. That's just how my internal clock is set.
Also, I was gonna say I let you think you initiated.
That too. Well, I mean, most likely when you feel the morning wood, it's like, oh, I guess this is happening.
Yes, but I also turn over and like put my butt on you just to just to make sure you feel it. Like, hey,
if you say so.
But I don't like. So just in a overall sexual, not sexual wellness. Well, I guess it is sexual wellness. I don't know. I've just been like, instead of always letting you take the lead and letting you initiate, I'm like, hey, I want it too. Like, what's
Those
up?
are very welcome.
It is. And I know that now, but it's at the same time, and the reason I don't do it as often is I feel like women from the beginning of however long, from the time you're a child to whenever you actually grow up, you're like ingrained, I guess. It's ingrained in you that like women are supposed to be the lower desire person. So it's like when you have somebody, when you have a woman that's a higher desire, it's like something's wrong. Like, you crazy, you a maniac, you need to chill out somewhere. Like, so, and that's what I'm fighting through to get over, is that mindset that I've grown up with, that, well, one, that sex is bad. I grew up with single women, so it was always boys are the enemy, boys bring babies. Nah.
I mean,
don't do it.
Your track record has pretty much proven that point.
My track record?
I said their track record.
Oh, I was about to say, you just want to come for me?
Point.
Yes. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's because of their life experiences that they kind of like push that idea onto me, onto my sister.
Yeah, having three boys in the house, sex wasn't really a topic.
Really?
No.
Well, I mean, yes, I know. Knowing your parents.
I tell you all the time whenever we come to this topic. When my dad talked to me about sex, I think I was like 17 or 18. Mm. And it was really just, hey, you having sex? No? Cool. Mom talked to me about having sex. It was more so when I was leaving for college and was like, here's this variety pack of condoms. Stay safe. I'm going home.
My gosh. I will never forget that day you called me and you was like, my mom just dropped like packets of lube and condoms on my dresser. I was like,
yep.
Okay.
I see that as two things. One, mom, staying woke.
Proactive.
And open. And also going to college and seeing free condoms.
I mean, hey.
One of my kids is having sex. They can use this. And two, her affirming that she likes you.
Oh, really?
That's how I saw it.
By telling you not to get me pregnant and keep me around forever.
Keep her around. Don't ruin her life. I don't really care about yours.
Oh, man. Yeah, no. So my family was always very open to the idea, but not to the practicality. Because it was like, we could talk about it.
Don't ever put this into practice.
No, like, it was like, we could talk about it, joke, haha, but it was like, once I, like, literally, this will be a later topic. And I know I say that about a lot of topics, but that's because we're going through this. But a later topic, when I lost my virginity and told my mom, she like broke down and called my grandma. Shame. No, but really, shame. It was like, she was like, she called my grandma and was crying. I'm so disappointed. I'm like, cause I wanted to get some butt. Like, so yeah. But now my family is actually open in thought and practicality.
They have you as a kid, so.
I mean, they had to get over it. And that's just me in general. I've always
Your family is really... Like, what? We're talking about this? Okay. I guess we're talking about this now.
But they won't shy away from the conversation once I started. But yeah, I've just always been very pro-sex, pro-everything. Yeah,
so, I never had a problem with it. I mean, parents always look to me for some reason to talk to Galen, like Jamala, the one that has
older
like
brother.
Jamala, which is an avid practitioner in the act, and everything surrounding the act would have more to tell her than I do.
Well, yes, but I think they saw it as you're older, you're out of high school, in college, living your own thing, and you still don't have any kids. So you're doing something right.
So I tell G, hey, if you're going to do it, just wrap it up, man.
That's all you can say. Like
we have a faith and our Bible says don't do this before marriage, but we live in the 21st century. Like, there's a higher chance of a kid not listening to you than listening to you. so just in case you don't listen, use protection.
Yes, and I think, and me and one of our friends were talking about this a couple of days ago. I think church is where you should talk about it openly. I think because there's shame on you, that's wrong, just don't do it before marriage, and that's the end of the conversation. That's why a lot of people just go out and do it whenever, and that's how you end up with people.
That's where you get shame from when it's not something you talk about. when you have a hard set guideline of rules and there's no caveat,
Right.
there's no in between, there's no gray area. And no, 100% I believe there's no gray area in the Bible, but we're not perfect. We're trying to strive to be. So we have to be practical about the things we teach the younger generation. That's what I totally agree on. And I believe something like Bible study or your youth nights or something you can talk to that about. Because, yes, like I said, straightforward, the Bible says no sex before marriage.
Right.
Sex is an enjoyable act. Yes, absolutely.
Very enjoyable.
Positively. But it says in the confines of marriage. Mm-hmm. But like I said, we live in the 21st century. Sex sells. Sex is everywhere.
Yeah.
Whether it's the actual act of sex, half-naked men or women, whatever. It's a sexual act. It's leading into a sexual desire.
Right.
So, if you are living in the world, yes, teach them practices to try to strive to be more perfect in a sense, but also give them tools they can actually utilize to survive the battlefield.
Yes. I think once you remove the shame, that's when you can actually start helping people. Like, even when it comes to like masturbation, like people are like, oh, you shouldn't do it, don't spill seed, and it's like, no. Okay, but women don't have seed to spill, so what does that, like, I think people have,
they take and pick and choose what scriptures they want to use for what.
Well, yes, and whatever scriptures they pick and choose, not even whatever scriptures they pick and choose, just throughout generationally, you have one person who started that teaching and was like, okay, here's the support for that. And then they just taught it to the next person, the next person just taught it, and the next person just taught it. Nobody questioned it. Nobody looked at context clues. Nobody was like...
the whole chapter.
Like, so I think...
guarantee you can't enjoy something you've never practiced for yourself. Like, how are you going to know what you enjoy?
That's my thing.
At the end of the day, what we're saying is explore your body.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, all the time. Like, my stepsister, at one point when she lived in the house, when we all lived in the house together, she was like, oh, like, I want to get a toy, but I don't know what to do, yada, yada. I'm like, girl, I got like 3 different stores and 6 different websites. You want one?
I can give you tutorial videos, whatever you need.
Not tutorial videos.
It's called porn.
Oh, that's right. That is true.
Simple, man.
But it's just like, like you said, you won't know what you like unless you try it, unless you explore it. And I think that's also why so many people are quick to get married. So many Christians are quick to get married because it's like,
those same Christians,
I want this, but
half of them stay together, half of them get divorced.
And I just think there needs to be more understanding and less shame. More acceptance and less shame. Stop shaming people who got pregnant out of wedlock. Stop shaming teenage mothers. Like,
why aren't they coming to church? I wonder why. I wonder why.
It's just,
that's a whole other topic.
I know, right?
I can go in on that, y'all.
But yeah, a thorn is that I feel like you're trying to keep me chunky. I know now that you're trying to keep me chunky. Absolutely. But the rose is that I'm still jogging.
Comfortable range for you.
Yes. I'm at a comfortable range right now. It's just like, I'm kicking myself in the butt because I set a goal.
Reason, y'all. It's like, bad bit.
I set a goal in 2019 when I started losing weight. Got halfway to my goal and was like, this is good enough. So it's like, I feel like if I don't try to reach my goal, then it's not worth it. Right. But if I'm sticking with this for a good month or 2 months and don't see any improvement, that's when I'm be like, all right, cool, I'm done. Like,
see, in my professional opinion.
Your professional opinion.
No, in my opinion, as long as your stomach ain't bigger than your gut, you shouldn't really. I mean,
Stomach ain't bigger than your
If your
gut.
stomach ain't bigger than your titties, then I think you're fine.
Oh, trust me, my stomach got a long way to go before it's bigger than my titties.
I think you're fine. Like for me, my one goal has been my goal throughout my life. Well, throughout my life that I cared about my weight. As long as I don't go over 280, I'm fine.
Yeah.
That's
That's
as long as I don't
goal.
go over 280. And I'm scared to check the
Scale?
there you go.
Why?
Just because quarantine.
Okay.
And yeah, I've been walking, but I can't really walk like I used to, man.
No, man, you used to be kicking. Like,
Man.
I'd be struggling catching up.
And it's
now
like
I feel like
just
I leave
now, if I like try like the last 2-3 days since I've been walking, like I try to kick up my speed, and like I get halfway to the top of I'll get to the top of the hill going up in like severe pain,
yeah.
and it's like, but my back is feeling better a little bit.
That is good.
So there's that, and without the pills,
Yes.
there's that.
Nice.
So hopefully it's getting better. I don't have to do any more operations.
Would you consider that your rose or your thorn?
Yes. No, it's a rose. It's getting better. Back's getting better. No, Rose
A rose.
happened today. That Harleen comic, man. This issue.
You gonna slide us into our next topic?
Man. When I tell you it's a captivating read, like, especially this chapter, like the other chapters, they were good. Don't get me wrong. But this one, man. I don't want to spoil it for you because it's like,
No, because I've been looking forward to it. I crushed House of X Powers of 10 this weekend.
like they're really going into the Harleen Joker dynamic when it first started. Her turning and what was the linchpin? Oh, and the joke.
Joke.
Man, it was the joke. It was the joke. Like yeah. Like she wrote it on the wall. She did it. Oh man, Harleen, y'all gotta catch that. Y'all gotta read that. Y'all gotta, yeah. I might actually get the whole volume just to have it. It's that good.
Well, yeah, but they only have.
One more.
That's it?
Just one more.
Are you serious? How are they gonna wrap up the whole story?
Oh, you'll see.
Okay.
It's literally just about her turning into Harley Quinn, and once she turns into Harley Quinn, that's it. Like, we know the rest of her story.
I mean, yes.
But we've never, not even in the Batman animated series, has seen her turn into Harley Quinn.
It's never been this fleshed out.
No. Like, we had the main beats here and there, but, like, we've never had Harleen Quinzel's story. We've always had Harley Quinn's story.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, are we going to transfer our anime corner segment into, like...
Until my anime comes back, yes.
A comics
Gosh,
corner.
man. Look, I love Bleach to death, but I need new content.
Yes, I am trying not to, and even though we only watch it on Sundays, I'm trying not to get tired of Bleach, but like, as of right now...
Getting good. It's getting into the good part, because it's getting into the end of the series.
Okay.
Like, end of the series. The main series. Like, after it, there's another main arc, but it's real short.
Okay. But I'm just like, we've been watching this for a while. Yeah. Like a while.
Well, also, you keep wanting to watch other stuff, and I push Bleach to our anime Sundays. If we watch Bleach every day, we'd probably finish it by now.
I still don't think I want to do that. Like, I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. But like, even when we were watching Naruto, I was like, all right, this is a lot. Like,
no, yeah, and Bleach is a complete story, so it's like, yeah, you're gonna get all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll finish it. We'll get to it.
What other comics are you reading?
Ooh, excuse me.
Piggy.
Since I crushed like our catch-up comics, I haven't really read nothing other than that Harleen one.
Really?
Yeah, we got all of our other comics that we got last week, the week before last week, and Friday I'm gonna I'm going to go get the ones for today. Today's Wednesday, new comic book day.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. And I was like, maybe I can get it after the podcast, but it's like, they'll probably be closed. And I'm not driving after that time.
It takes time to look this good.
Should have started that 5 hours ago.
Wow. So ungrateful.
Yeah, you went there. Thorn for the week. I ain't got one.
None. Everything is just roses and sunshine.
Life is good.
Good for you.
Well, no, my engine light's back on. I just need to get the oil changed.
I was going to say, we really just need to get the oil change.
change.
And I like how the check engine light only comes on if we drive, like...
more than 30 minutes.
Like...
Oh, man.
Anywhere local, we good.
Good, we're fine.
Good. But as soon as we're driving for a prolonged period of time...
So, what's our topic for the day, Mrs. Ronnie?
I miss my friends. So we're going to talk about our friendships throughout the years, how our friendships have changed on their own, and as well as how we have changed as a result of our friendships.
I got a lot of friends, so it's going to be real short for me.
No, it's not, because things have changed throughout the years, and you now have more friends. And you can talk about that.
I still ain't got that much friends.
Yes, you do. Do we have to go down the list?
No.
Oh, sorry, pause. Fair warning to all our friends who watch this episode. If you don't want us to say your names, let us know, and I will not say them anymore. But today, since we have a good amount of friends to talk about, and we can't say he and she and him and they, like, we're going to get confused.
I think all of our friends live in different cities.
Yes.
So we can do that. Waldorf friends or
Okay.
Largo friends. Are we doing couple friends or just friends in general?
No, friends in general.
Okay, friends. So Waldorf friends.
Yes.
Largo friends, which are the church friends.
Yes.
Suitland friends, which is my barber.
Okay.
Other Suitland friends, which is just church.
See, like other similar friends.
Bowie friends, my work friend.
Oh, that is considered Bowie. I don't know why I considered that like Crofton, but it's like down the street.
Legitimately down the street from Bowie High School.
Okay.
I don't know where Guyler lives.
Ashburn.
I can say Guyler because he doesn't go by that name.
Yes. Leesburg.
Plato. Leesburg friends.
And Roanoke friends. But what about...
I'm saying names, screw it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, but we're not going to say where those friends live.
We just did. Oh, no.
No, we didn't.
Okay. I don't know. I think when I was younger, I think I had like a solid 4 or 5 friends and neighborhood friends, kids. I was still contained into myself, kept to myself really, but
Right.
I was a watcher. My whole life I was a watcher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I loved hanging out with them. I love riding bikes with them, going to the playground, all that good stuff. But I was always a watcher. I think now that I think about it, I think that's where I've really come to enjoy being by myself. Because when they would come over and ask, hey, Peter, come outside. Pops was like, nah, he's working.
Nah, he got work.
So when I could come outside, they just got inside, and parents like once you inside,
you inside.
So I'm walking around the neighborhood, exploring the forest, eating honeysuckles by myself, all of that good crap. So I think that's where I really started to cultivate my love for being alone. And other than that, I had my middle school progressive. I think I had a solid I think I've always had like a solid 4 or 5 friends wherever at any point in my life. Like progressive, there was Carmen Strange. You met Strange at Andre's
She
party.
is so pretty.
Yeah, love her to death. She's the cool people's. Carmen Strange. Lakia Randolph. Lakia?
You didn't.
Well,
You said people with last names.
who knows? Lakia. James, Rico, and Billy. 6.
6.
But yeah, that was my crew. Like, solid. Like, we always did crap together. Whenever we were on field trips, we hung out together.
Remember field trips?
It was a good time.
Trying to take like an adult field trip,
Man.
or is that just a vacation?
Sat in the cafeteria together. Usually always had classes together. Somehow we always finessed getting the same classes because progressive, once you hit, I think it was 7th grade, you can pick your extracurriculars, I think. So it was setting you up for high school and college and all of that. But yeah, solid group of friends. I think at that time I was still a watcher, but I feel like those group of friends more so brought me out of my shell because they were talkers and doers, so
Right.
they wouldn't really let me just sit there and be quiet. James would. James was my dude. He had my same personality, my same energy, but it was more so me and him feeling like we're the coolest people there because we like the corner and the cut.
Oh my gosh.
Look, man, middle school Peter was like top tier Peter for me.
Really?
Yeah. Junior, senior high school Peter was like cultivated from middle school Peter. Like,
Okay, I can see that.
yeah.
So,
I got
what?
the bitches.
I mean, yeah, you did. I ain't even gonna lie. What do you think is the difference between middle school Peter and like junior, senior Peter? And what about that like 2-year lull period in between? Were you just like traumatized and sit by yourself, or?
Well, I wouldn't say traumatized. New school, new environment. Kept to myself until I figured out who my peoples was in a big... Because I went from a private school with, like, my quote-unquote graduating a middle school class or, was it promotion class, was literally, like, 50 people. And then going from that into a high school with, like, our graduating class was, like,
200 or something.
It was, like, 400 plus.
Really?
Yeah, Wise was a big place. Not everybody graduated. Graduation was like 200 plus. But we ain't talking about that. But those 2 years was like just... I've never been around that many people. So, and me liking staying to myself. So I started 9th grade halfway into the year. So the second semester. 3rd and 4th quarters when I started 9th grade. And 10th grade was my first full year, first figuring out, yeah. And then 11th grade, you know, I had the friends I made, started, you know, feeling myself, going out. People know me and I don't know them. I was like, okay, this is high school. How am I going to navigate this? So that was those 2-year lulls, but, yeah. 11th grade, senior year, I had my set friends. Even though we didn't have classes together, it was always Dylan. Billy was still around. Somehow, after I left, we met back up in Wise. Same for Lakia.
The people from Progressive showed up at Wise.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky you.
Same for Lakia. But I think those were the only two. But Dylan, Malcolm, some other people that Phil, Shanti. I'm horrible at names, y'all. Like, I'm struggling just to come up with a set of names right now. And I follow you on Facebook. Rajon? Rajon. I think his name is Rajon. I just don't want to say the wrong name or the wrong version of the name. That's like
or like say somebody else and they think they like
right. That's like mad disrespectful. Frank was my dude. Oh, good people, man. And it's really just for that, it's like those were the affirmations. Like, you're okay being yourself. Like, you don't have to change. You were like, we have fun with you just being you.
Right. I feel like those are always the best friends.
Yeah, those are the people that solidify you, your personality.
Right.
I think your junior, senior years when you start to figure out who you really are. Start to figure out, because after this college, and that's where you're like, this is the person I'm trying to be in college, so let me start here and build
Right.
myself up. And then college,
Maybe
real
college.
real friend James, best man, best friend. He made it okay to be
Introverted.
yeah, stay in your corner over there, Pete. I'll bring everybody over. Don't worry. And it's like I think it was the first or second night in college. The party was in my room. It moved from like the welcome party or the meet and greet, and somehow it got up to Peter's and the other three roommates' room, and it was like, it's a good time. It's a good time. But yeah, James, man, good people. I've always like looked up to James. I guess he is like 2-3 years older than me.
Yeah.
But I don't. Maybe because he was older, but I've always felt like he had it more together than I did. So I always admired that about him. Yeah, I think watching him throughout college and how hard he worked and how determined he worked, kind of made me want to do well in school. Like, I think if I roomed with somebody who slacked off like I did,
Yeah, you would have
I'd
definitely
probably
slacked off.
been out of there freshman year instead of my sophomore year. James is cool people, man. Love him to death. I know when we like in college, when we really would get drunk, we were like, man, when we get older, we're gonna live close together. We're gonna have like this big mafia long table where all our family at it. All this good, like, good shit, good stuff. And then adulthood.
Adulthood.
Still got my boy James. My homie Joe, grew up together. I felt like I was always in competition with Joe.
Really?
Yeah, because we were.
Y'all are two vastly different people.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Even then, even growing up, we were vastly different. But I've always felt, because we grew up in the church together. From when we were kids. Joe's granddad was an elder in the church. His uncle was the pastor of the church. And then my family came, but we came around the time that they started the church, so we were there. Joe's a year younger than me, so we were always together. But yeah, I always felt like we was in competition with each other growing up. Joe got pipes,
yeah, he
so
for days.
jealous of him and that. So I felt like, man, I gotta step up and gotta learn how to sing. But like, as a kid, they were like, "Oh, you gonna sing, Mom?" I'm like, I want that, man. Oh, and then getting into puberty and getting into girls, compete. Like, nah, I'm gonna get her. Nah, I'm gonna get her. Like, all right, bet. It's always some type of competition. Now he my barber. So I was like, ain't no competition. Just line me up right, man. But no, I still feel like somehow we ended up competing with each other now.
Yeah.
It wasn't my idea, but we started this, and
yeah.
he started theirs, and it's like, you know what? I just want to get like you now, man. And that's where I'm at now in adulthood. Instead of competition, like, I want to get like that.
Yeah, I saw something that was very inspirational the other day, and it was something along the lines of, let's not look at people and say, I wish that was me, but instead say, that can be me.
Yeah, big facts. Like, you got to change your image and change how you view certain situations. So instead of depression, you would get motivation.
Right.
Then, starting work, getting out into the work field, becoming an adult. started to realize all the things my older brother really went through. So, and we started talking more.
That's a good take. Your brother became one of your friends.
Yeah, my older brother did become one of my friends. It's like, because he's 8 years older than me. By the time I really got of the age to want to try to connect with him or want to try to roll with him, he was out the house.
Yeah, that is true.
Being younger, I tried to, run along his coattail or whatever, go hang out with him and his friends. But it's like,
but there's only so much you could do.
I didn't like Galen hanging out with me when he was younger. It's like,
that's always so weird that siblings do that. Like me and my sister, I loved when my sister would hang out with me.
Figure this out yourself, man. I had to. I think that's really what it was. I didn't have my older brother to like tag along with, so I'm like, nigga, leave me alone. Get out of my spot. These are my friends.
Competition.
So yeah, Jay became a friend. We talk more, we laugh more. I really got to understand everything he went through through his life and all the decisions he's making. Really seeing from where he started at to who he is now. It's like I really admire the dude. Like it's more so his tenacity to never give up, to never let the weight of the world keep him down.
Right.
So that's one thing I really admire about Jay. Galen growing up and starting to see the man Galen's become, it's like, if you would just stop touching me, you would be good peoples.
It's not gonna happen.
If you would just stop touching me, you would be like,
that is his love language.
Tier.
That is how he shows you that he cares.
You got like God tier and then you got top tier. Galen's at top tier. Like, if you just stop touching me, God tier friendship, man. Like, even now, Galen will just text me random. I'm like, I miss this little nigga.
Yeah.
So work started, when I first started the job that became my career or whatever.
Oh, it's a career.
Yeah, it's my path in life now. IT. I was always the youngest one. I started my job at 18, 19.
Yeah, you was a baby.
I was a baby in the IT field at the census, like. Everybody was my mentor. They were all they're like, you know what? I'm surprised you made it. And I'm black. So they were like, God damn, nigga.
It don't hurt that your name is Peter Scott.
Come on with me. Yeah. Doesn't hurt. Put in the door. A church member of mine brought my resume. They was probably like, oh, Peter Scott, where you meet him? Church? Oh, Peter? And he goes to church. Set up for the interview. Like, oh, no, he got a job already. This is just a formality. He was like, is Peter behind you? Cool. Oh, come in.
Can I see some ID just to make sure?
You got another ID? How about a
pool pass?
Community ID? No. Okay. But yeah. But it wasn't until about 2 years. Dang. I think
it's been a minute.
2-3 years.
Sheesh. I'm trying to think of the first. Yes, we went to see the first Tokyo Ghoul with them. Yeah. That was our first, hanging
couple
out.
Of dates.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Yeah, me and Matt became quick friends. Like, I never met somebody, my skin tone. Well, not really my skin. He black. He black. He more so her skin tone.
Matt is definitely a lot lighter than me.
He's another topic. But yeah, 2-3 years ago, never met somebody who works in my field, not that much older than me, my skin complexion, and into comics and anime and everything I'm into.
Like, old nerd.
He's like 5 years older than me, 4 or 5 years older than me, and I look at him and I'm like, that's me 4 years in the future.
Like, legit.
Time travel somehow. But man, me and him became quick friends real fast. His wife is cool people.
Oh, I love her.
Oh, he has a beautiful little black dog. Oh man. But you guys got a house. They got
That's
married.
What I'm saying. I miss my friends. I just want to go hang out.
Man, look, me and Matt became friends so fast that we had a standing Monday lunch date.
Yep.
All the time.
Every Monday.
Like,
It was so bad that I felt like once I started going to lunch with you all, I felt like I was intruding. I was like, dang, this
Oh
is
yeah,
not
you were
my
definitely the
place.
third
Like,
wheel.
I don't belong here.
You were definitely third wheeling it. But it's cool. He likes you, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. That's cool, peoples.
He is.
And then they made friends I made through you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for
And
me,
the friends you've kind of made by yourself, like Ed.
true. Like I knew Ed in high school. I knew of Ed in high school, but I didn't know Ed. But yeah, meeting him, connecting with him, talking more, texting more, hanging out a little bit. Cool peoples, man.
Man, like,
Dude got a very entrepreneurial spirit that I admire. Like
and his way of thinking is
his
just
way of thinking is great.
refreshing.
It really is. Somebody who any white man or cop will look at him like, nigga, he is in trouble. He is in some type of trouble. This, that, like, that's how he looks. But once he is one of the smartest dudes, one of the most open-minded people. He's great peoples, man. Between him and Matt, they've really, I won't say changed the way I thought, but expanded my thinking. Matt, his rich ass, made me open my mind that more financially, more want to be more fiscally responsible and try different things to make more money. And more so, it's like,
I can get out and get it myself. Like, that's his whole thing.
and it's like, it's not just that, but just things I haven't noticed before. He mentions, it's like, you know what?
Makes sense.
Now that you mention it.
Yeah.
So, the friends you make can definitely change how you view the world, change how you react and experience life.
Definitely.
I do subscribe to a mantra of not having a lot of friends, but
A good group.
a good solid group of friends. It doesn't even have to be more than 3.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't have to be more than 2. You can have one solid friend as long as he doesn't think like you.
Yeah.
I think that's where people get in the trap from, just affirmation and affirmation. It's like, no, you need somebody who can challenge you.
Right.
And like call you on your BS and you will still love them afterwards. It's like they're not calling you on it to hurt your feelings, but to make you better.
To check you.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was longer than I thought it was going to be, but that's just because I don't remember names.
That's true. For me, I was always
ASMR.
you have a really nice ASMR voice, though.
Your friends.
So for me, when I was younger, elementary school to middle school, until I turned 16, I've always had a bunch of friends. I was social butterfly. I'd hang out with these people over here, then go hang out with those people over there.
Right.
And it was still genuine friendship. No matter what, I was genuinely friends with everyone. But I had so many. And then when I was 16, I up and moved to North Carolina. Again, whole other episode in and of itself. But
A whole different person. You didn't recognize that.
no, not at all. And I'm trying to get back to, I'm not trying to go on a tangent, but I'm trying to get back to the happy, I know I will never be the person I was before we up and moved, just because of how tragic it was and how everything happened.
Tragic.
It was tragic. I'm not being dramatic. It was tragic. You take a girl, middle of her sophomore year of college, middle or sophomore year of high school. I felt like I had everything figured out. I was good. I liked my classes. I loved my friends. But once I moved, I lost 95% of those friends. And not because it was they trash or anything like that. Just because, like I said, we were 16, we were in high school. Like, when you're in high school, I feel like the friends that you have, you're only so deep in friendship with them because you see them every day and you talk to them every day and you get to hang out with them every day. But once an obstacle like that is placed, you don't necessarily.
We didn't have free nights and weekends or unlimited text messages at that time either.
No, like, no. So I lost a good 95% of those friends. And honestly, it's still an open invitation to be friends. Like, as adults, if people are like, hey, you want to hang out? I'd be like, yeah, cool. Like, well, let's try it.
Depends.
Why does it depend?
A lot of those friends you had were mostly guys.
That is true.
And I
hate to be one of those girls, but it was also like, I got bullied, so I never really hung out with a whole lot of girls.
But on that note, I hung out with more girls than I did guys. I prefer hanging out with more girls than I did guys. Yeah, continue. Oh. You hung out with more boys. I hung out. Yeah.
I mean,
that's how it was.
Like I said,
look at my church. There's mostly girls in there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where it started. Like, this is my life now.
But I've had a couple of really good friends that have stayed friends through that point on. Like, my friend Darren.
You mean my friend Darren?
Shut up. Me and Darren are like best friends, and then you wanna swoop in just because
you should have watched anime.
Anyway, but yeah, like Darren, and so once I moved to North Carolina, I still found a good group of, not the first year. The first year that I was there, I was depressed and didn't talk to anybody. Like,
you just got your little heart
at all.
I had to leave my boyfriend.
I was 16. That was my life at the time. Like, he was everything at the time. But after I kind of, honestly, after we broke up, and I kind of was like, I came to a realization, was like, I got to make the best of the situation. Like, I'm going to be here. I got to do something about it. And even those friends were great friends. Those friends taught me that you can always find good in any situation. Mm-hmm. I hated where I was living. I liked the house that we lived in. Like, again, I was missing the people from Maryland. Like, it was a lot. But yeah, finding those friends helped me see the good in any situation. It helped me realize that it's only as worse as you make it.
I hear you.
So from there, then went to college. And two of my three. So when I say best friend, I don't say it as like, oh, this person is my best friend. I say best friend as like tiers of friendship. I feel like I have a lot of best friends at the moment. So I'm going to just say best friends. Okay. My definition of best, and I've also noticed that like my definition of best friend may not be the same as your definition of best friend.
I have one, James.
Like, and me?
Well, I married you, so.
Does that not make me your best friend? I'm going to sidetrack.
It's a prerequisite. It's a prerequisite.
I have to be your best friend first.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Continue.
Oh.
I'm done.
So I was an RA my junior year. Freshman year. I'm going to start freshman year. Freshman year of college. I went to college in Lynchburg, Virginia. So when I went to tour, I met this girl, and we were like, yeah, you're going to be my roommate. It's going to be fun. We're going to hang out all the time, eat breakfast, all this other stuff. We got like halfway through the first semester. I was like, I don't even like you like that.
Like, oh, man, I'll never forget the first time James saw me. He would email back and forth, and then I saw him. I was like, you Peter? I'm like,
yeah.
You James? You know James is a black name, right?
So I didn't like my first roommate, but me and my friend Maggie got super close. Like to this day, I wish me and Maggie were like still friends.
Yeah.
And like I saw her recently, and we tried talking, but I feel like it's an adult friendship. We're busy. I mean,
Life happens.
Life happens.
I was having spoke to James in like 2 months. No, a month. Month and a
I
half.
thought you texted him like last week.
Nah, I said I would. I forgot.
You bum.
Yeah.
So me and Maggie were super close, hung out every day. And then she left halfway through the second semester of my freshman year. So at this point, I'm 2 roommates out, and I'm like, you know what? I ain't doing this no more. So the next year I was an RA. And there I met 2 of my best friends, Bree and Kim, and like stories for
And the rest
days. Like days. But even then, there were like some points in our relationship, and I think it's just like, I hate to just chalk it up to females being females, but like
growing pains.
Growing pains. That's a better way to put it. But there were times where we would be like super close, super chill, hanging out all the time, and then there were times where I would be excluded, or I felt like I was excluded. Maybe that's not what they want. Maybe that's not their intent, but I felt excluded sometimes. And it was really weird because it's like I started between my sophomore and junior years of college is when I started actually recognizing my depression for what it was. Like it's definitely, and now being an adult and looking back on it, it's like, yo, like the warning signs were there my entire life. Like I remember being out with my family on Saturdays and just like immediately like instantly feeling sad, breaking down, crying in the back of the car, and like everybody's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. Like but with me trying to deal with that and still trying to navigate friendships was definitely very hard, and I feel like that kind of contributed to some of the disconnected periods of our friendship. But now that we're adults, now that we lived together my senior year, me and Bree lived together, Kim always hung out, and that's where my other best friend came into play, Mariah. I love Mariah so much. I miss her. We were talking the other day, like, we need another night, like your bachelorette party. And I was like, yo, we do. So, again, and that's just another friendship, like, where we go through ebbs and flows. It's like moments where you're like talking every day, we're cool, we're good, and then we don't speak for a while, but it's not because there's any bad blood or anything. It's just because we're busy. Like, we're adults. We have lives going on. I have moments where I don't necessarily want to text people all the time or feel like talking. They have moments where they feel like they don't want to text people and
75%
talk.
of my moments. That's why it took so long for me to text Joe back. It's like, I think he texted me like either the weekend or sometime last week. And, you know, I don't like seeing notifications on my phone, so I was like, clear all. Right. But I didn't mark his message read because I know when I go back in the message and it's highlighted, it's like, oh, right, Joe. But, yeah, majority of the time, it's like, I don't feel like talking right now. Oh, yeah. So don't take it personally, Joe. It's just, it's cards you dealt.
But I'm grateful for those friendships. I'm grateful for those times because as I am honestly healing and going through, unpacking all the problems that I've had throughout my life, learning new ways to deal with things and learning new ways to be better, I genuinely appreciate adult friendships more than I appreciated high school.
I love
freshman stuff.
I love that me and James can go months without talking.
Absolutely.
And he dropped, hey, you want to get some ramen? I'm like, oh, yeah. And just leave. Be gone for like 4 hours.
And then, like what you said about your brother, how y'all have started to become friends as adults. That's how I feel about my cousin. Like, me and my cousin Kristen, close could possibly be as kids. And then again, around the time I moved away, she was dealing with her own personal issues. Like, things happened in that regard, and we fell off. We stopped talking. But now that we coincidentally live close to each other now, like 5 minutes away, we talk all the time, and it's back to how it was when we were kids. Like, again, with the acceptance, I guess is the word. Maybe that's not the right word, but just with the acceptance, for lack of a better word, that like we're both going to be adults. We're both going to have times where we're busy. We're not going to text each other all day, every day.
Right.
But man, like, and then I just think back on all the friendships I've had, like all the meaningful friendships I've had throughout my life. It's like everyone taught me something different.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
you have friends for a reason, or friends for a certain season.
Yeah.
To do something.
And that's what's hard for me to come to terms with, because now as I sit back and think about the friendships that I had growing up, it's like, dang, I really wish I was friends and close with that person like we were back then. But I'm also nervous about that. Like, anybody out there, hey, my friendship inbox is open. Anybody who I was friends with at one point in time and we fell off for whatever reason, let me know. We'll talk. We'll have a conversation. If I was in the fault, I'll apologize. If you were in the fault, whatever. I'm open to rekindling some good ass friendships.
Yeah.
However, sorry, I'm not going to keep cutting you off. But I'm also nervous about that, because I'm not the person that I was at 16. Who's to say you're the person that you was when we were friends all those years ago? Yeah. So it's...
I feel where you're coming from. I had that feeling with my old PCA crew. Like, we were tight, like close people, like real family. I called them my sisters, called them my brothers, and like I wish we could like rekindle that friendship. Like when I saw Strong J, it was all love. It was
yeah, absolutely.
How you've known Andre this whole time, and you like.
And that's we knew always each other. The crazy thing.
We three didn't know. We like,
yep.
Like, don't make sense. But Strong J is an entrepreneur, doing her own thing, living her own life. Like, big ups to you, shorty. Like, you are doing amazing things. Same for Carmen. She is following her dream that she's always had. Like, she is this Broadway actress now. Like. She's doing. That's awesome. I remember, because I watch her, I follow her, and I remember she was off in Alaska sometime. I'm like, Alaska. I'm like, you know what?
Do it.
Do you, shorty? Like, this is like just watching people experience their dreams and live their life. I think that's where I get my kicks from. Like, just seeing you be great and seeing you do something. I've heard you talk in such passion about when we were like kids. Like, Carmen always had like this booming singing voice, and it's like to see you living that dream. It's like, man, I'm proud of you, girl.
It's always.
I'm proud of you, girl.
Like, watching all my friends, and that's the blessing of social media. Yeah. It's like you get to see your friends and still be connected,
and then seeing them do things you like. Rico, man, let me tell you, Ricardo was the baddest kid.
Yeah, he's playing his business out there.
But he a cop now. And it's like, what?
How?
What? Yeah. But, man, James off traveling the world with himself. Yeah. I don't really know what he's doing, but I know he's always somewhere different. I'm trying to figure out what Billy doing, but it's hard to find his Facebook page for some reason. There's a lot of Williams out there.
Yeah, some people just don't do social media.
Homie Lakia, I never saw her joining the military. Whitney married and having babies, man. And Whitney was the smallest and youngest out of all of them. I'm like, you go, girl. I'm just proud of everybody. Proud of all my friends.
Man, like,
and I think that's what settles that relief that we're not talking, that we're not that connected. It's just,
oh yeah, absolutely.
You're still happy. You're still thriving. You're still out there doing you. So it's like, that's enough for me.
Yeah. No, I don't want to. I don't want to rekindle any friendships that aren't going to serve either one of our purposes.
Right.
Or B, I don't want to. I'm also grateful that if it's over social media, hey, let it be over social media.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then there's those people who are like, I'm friends with now on social media, and I'm like, dang, like, why was we friends in college or when I lived in North Carolina? Like, you cool peoples. Yeah. And then again, it's like, I want to reach out.
We were closer. Like, I talk more with Frank on Facebook than I ever did when we was in college. Like, I mean, high school. It's like, I wish we talked more. We would probably have a closer friendship.
But that's the crazy thing about life, I guess.
Friendships are wild. Life is wild. It's just the ebbs and flows, like you say, the distance and coming back together. It's all watching life happens is a magical experience. Oh, yeah. Like really watching life happen. And I think that's kind of the joy of. That's definitely one of the upsides about having social media. It's like you legitimately get to watch someone's life unfold. Yeah. Because like everything is up there. You have a picture from 10 years ago that you can compare to a picture of now. It's like, damn.
Sheesh. Man, yeah. I'm not going to get into it because we're already like...
Oh, we're over now?
We're at an hour and some change. But yeah, like I said, I just love my friends. Yeah. I just miss them. I wish we had more time to sit and talk about them because we haven't even gotten into our church friends and all the great things that they're doing with their lives, like, at all. At all. It was like, it's phenomenal.
Just my three sisters, like, one all married, like, master's degree. You got an entrepreneur, and then you got Shorty in the government with all these certificates. I'm like just proud of all y'all, man. Y'all make y'all mama proud.
Look, man. I have one friend that I've been friends with for my entire life, and we haven't even gone into that. Man, Ravine, like, I just miss my friends. Yeah. We might do a part 2. I need another hour to talk about friends. Man. Like, that's what I'm saying.
I think Asia is like, I won't say peak surprise, but I'm definitely hella proud of her.
Yeah, like extremely proud of her.
From the difficulties, being as having her kid, and then her mental issues, and then now seeing her thrive.
Man, also an entrepreneur, business owner,
great mother. It's just like Asia, man. Gosh. Salutes.
I just moving forward.
There's a lot of businesses and
but like I said,
I'm proud of y'all, man. Like being a barber ain't easy. Nah. But Joe makes it.
Now when you feel like there's a million other people,
especially during quarantine.
Especially during the quarantine,
man.
Like, so yeah, next week will be part 2 of us gushing about all our friends.
Join us back, friends. Join us.
Yes, please.
Look, we can get a Zoom call going. We can use Anchor's voice. Join.
That is true.
We can work this out, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get in contact with some people.
So,
all right.
It's been real, y'all.
It's been great. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Adult Deck Podcast. As always, like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Find us anywhere you listen to music or podcasts.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. You can check out our Facebook and our socials, our Instagram or
always
Twitter.
Hit us up. We always love good love.
We'll talk back. We'll comment back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We ain't gonna ignore y'all.
No, I appreciate everybody.
Keep it easy, y'all.
Bye.